Welcome to episode 4 of Chalet Cooking with Olivia. I'm joined today with Menno Reynolds, yay, and Julie Klotz. We are at the Klotz Chalet again. There's a good reason for it because the theme today is Après ski, and next Saturday we are having the ultimate après ski party hosted by the Klotzes here in honor of the Hanukkah, not the Hockenham, the Hanukkah, which is a very famous men's downhill in Kitzbühel, Austria. Very scary race, and fun fact, Julie's dad raced it in
1958.
Wow, and survived.
And he tells stories. I think he's making up stories now, but
I can't wait to hear them. That's great. So, in honor of our après ski theme, we're doing some classics. Schnitzel on a bun, and cheese fondue, and then French alpine onion galettes.
oh,
Sound good?
Tasty.
Let's
Love
get
it.
started. But first, a shot! Ah! So this is the traditional drink from Val d'Isère, nice little alpine town. It's called Genepi. I might have had 1 or 2 of these when we were in Val d'Isère last year. Year before
All right.
last. It was 2 years ago. See, forgotten it already.
There we go.
Cheers!
To another
Cheers.
episode. Cheers.
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 Dang, that's good.
Damn, that's a good one.
Woo! Herbaceous. Okay, so a lovely thing to serve, and it's so easy to make, is cheese fondue. So this is a classic Swiss cheese fondue. The recipe I'm using is from Food and Wine, and it's super, super simple. So you start with grating your cheese. So that's 1 pound of Gruyere grated, and now I'm grating ½ a pound of Swiss cheese. So while I'm grating the cheese, could you measure out 1 cup of white wine? Yeah. And it just calls for a dry white wine, so whatever you might have on hand. I'm gonna put this cheese all in the bowl here, and now I need 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of the cornstarch, and you can put it in the bowl with the cheese here. So we're gonna lightly coat all of the cheese with the cornstarch and add a little lemon juice just to brighten the flavor. And what the cornstarch does is it helps the mixture thicken within the white wine as we're heating the white wine on the stove. Make sense? Perfect. Okay, coat, coat, coat. So I've combined my cheeses here. We added the cornstarch. I'm gonna add the lemon juice. So this is about 1 teaspoon and a bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and then I'm gonna mix it all together like this. That can stay there for a while. Now we're gonna season our pot. So I'm using this lovely Le Creuset pot of Julie's. Best to use a nice cast iron, enameled cast iron pot. So I'm gonna cut this piece of garlic in half, and I'm exposing the garlic side. And I'm gonna season the pan with the exposed garlic. Okay, so we're now seasoned our pot. It smells so good. We're gonna put it on the stove, and we're gonna turn the heat on to about medium. You can add our 1 cup of wine. We're adding 1 cup of wine. And now the trick for this is we're gonna heat our wine up till it's about steaming, not necessarily boiling, just sort of simmering, and then we're gonna add our cheese in a little bit at a time and stir. Okay, so our wine is heating up nicely here. I can smell it. It smells pretty good. So I'm just gonna start adding in the cheese a handful at a time and melting it. You can see how the cheese is melting into the wine. We've got a good consistency going here, and I'm continuing adding the cheese kind of a little bit at a time, stirring it in. Okay, so we are adding the last little bit of the cheese in. And then after this is melted, we're going to season. fun part. We're supposed to add kirsch. We don't have any kirsch, so we're adding, I don't know, this is some type of Swiss brandy. How bad can it be, right? Tablespoon, thank you. So you need to add 1.5 tablespoons of liqueur. You could also use a cherry brandy if you had that, or a cognac would work. There we go. I'm gonna stir this in. A bit of fresh ground pepper. And if you have it, you can also grate some fresh nutmeg into this. We don't have any, so we're skipping that part. Okay, so we've added our seasoning in, and that's basically it. Now you can transfer this to your fondue pot, and normally you would serve it with chunks of crusty bread, maybe some little Austrian sausages, slices of pear also go very well with it. But it's very, very hearty and a really nice après-ski treat. Okay, next we're going to make schnitzel, which is a classic Austrian dish, typically made with veal or pork. We're using pork tenderloin today. We're going a little bit off-piste because we're making mini schnitzels to go in brioche buns as a little après-ski, very hearty appetizer.
Like a slider.
Yes, like a slider, exactly. A schnitzel slider. That's really hard to say. And we're doing them in the air fryer, which Julia's gonna coach me on because I don't own an air fryer, so new experience for me, but it's gonna be fun. And of course, we start with champagne.
All right, ladies.
Woo! Woo! Cheers. What do you
Cheers.
say in Austria?
Prost.
Prost. Okay. Step 1 is you're going to cut your meat. Here we have our beautiful pork tenderloin. Get the knife out of the way here. And I am cutting them crossways into sort of like medallions so that they'll fit nicely in the slider bun. So I'm cutting them maybe just shy of a 1/2 inch thick, and then we're gonna pound them. Here we are. I can probably do these are small, so I'm gonna try 3 at a time. Let's see how that goes. Whoopsie. And what makes a schnitzel is the pounding thin part and the coating, which we'll do in a minute. Thickness. Oh, look at that. Amazing. Once you have your meat pounded, you're going to want to season it with a little bit of pepper and a wee bit of salt. Voila. Good to go. Flour first, then egg, then breadcrumbs. So here we go. Production line. Boop. Get well coated there. And into, oh, look at that. Amazing. Ta-da. Okay, so we've taken our schnitzels, put them in the air fryer. We're gonna give them just a light coating of spray. There you go, so that they crisp up. And then we're gonna put them in, boom, 400, because I don't know how to use one of these things. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And press go. Okay. And so then when it's done, 5 minutes, we're going to flip them, spray, again in at 400 for 5 minutes, and then they're done. It dinged, so we're pulling it out. Like I just pulled it out like that. Oh my God, look at these things. It's so good. Crispy. So here we are. I'll just pull a couple out and we can put together our little brioche sandwiches. These buns I made this morning. They're a brioche bun. And how about we make one, split it in 3? Sound good?
Excellent.
Okay. So And for condiments, gosh, you could probably use a bunch of different things. Mustard, we're putting some sauerkraut. I'll start with 2 of these. These are on the smaller side, so I'll start with 2 of these and some sauerkraut. Boom. There you have a schnitzel slider. There's a little amuse-bouche for us all. There we go.
Oh my
That's
god.
pretty good.
That is so crispy.
Crispy.
Delicious.
Yummy.
Delicious. Thank you. Good job.
So our next après-ski appetizer is a French, well, it's caramelized mushroom and onion galette, which is a French dish. It's basically an open-faced pastry. We are going to have a little croissant in it, and we're going to caramelize these onions and add some mushrooms to it and some seasoning. So, but first, we're gonna, what is this, Julie?
This is a PJ Craft Cream Liqueur Salted Caramel.
So it's like dessert in a glass, right?
Oh, you got it.
Okay. Awesome.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Roast, 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 roast,
Ah.
roast. So for this dish, we want mushrooms. I'm using cremini mushrooms, and I'm just slicing them up thinly. I think that's probably enough mushrooms for now. And then some onions. And I like to use a mixture of onions. So we have some red onions sliced, and this is a Vidalia onion. Nice and sweet, which will caramelize very nicely. Nice thin slices. We're going to caramelize our onions, which requires butter. So, popping it in the pan, another beautiful Le Creuset pan. Medium to medium high heat for now. We can turn it down later. I am melting the butter, and then once it's melted, we'll add the onions. Okay, so we've got our butter sizzling here. Lovely. I'm going to add the onions, and as I said, we have a mixture of a very large Vidalia onion and a couple of red onions in here. So we are going to caramelize. Mushrooms. So our onions, they're not quite done, but they're almost done. So at this point, I'm going to add in our mushrooms. And I'm not going to add in all of these because that's quite a bit. So we'll start with that and see how it goes. Okay, so I've caramelized the mushrooms. I think we're really good. Now I'm going to add some seasoning. So we have just some dried thyme. If you had some fresh thyme or some fresh rosemary, that would be okay too. And then, of course, salt and pepper. So we'll add that. Okay, so I'm ready to pull this off. We're ready to assemble our galette. So I'm going to turn the oven on to 400. This is pastry that I made previously. So it's just a regular pastry crust. So I'm going to lay them out. So we'll do 6 at a time. So then we're going to add some boursin to the bottoms. So just a layer of boursin on the bottoms. Just a wee bit of the onion and mushroom mixture. This one needs a little bit more. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. On the top. Okay, and then this is what makes it a galette. So you're going to fold in the sides. Voila. Now we are going to do the wash. So just a simple egg wash around the side here. For a little bit of a garnish, some toasted sesame seeds around the edges. Okay, oven's up to temp, so we're ready to put our little galettes in the oven. Oh, they look so cute. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna say 15 minutes. Okay, so these are coming out of the oven. Oh, they look amazing. Nicely browned. Cheese is melted on top. Okay, yummy. We're ready for our après ski event. We have our schnitzels, our buns to make our schnitzel sliders. We have our galettes, we have cheese fondue with our accoutrements, potatoes, some veggies. We've got bread. It's gonna be delicious.
Prosit.
Prosit.
Cheers.